I'm so excited to welcome my next guest. The world fell in love with him over a decade ago, and he's gone on to do incredible things. It's David Archuleta. Hi, David.
Hi, I like the robe you're rocking.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, your own show. Why not do it comfy, right? Fancy robe, lots of wine. Like, there are worse ways to make a living. How have the last few years been for you? I mean, with kind of transitioning to Zoom, the tour has been postponed, things like that. Like, how are you handling just life over the last couple of years? Or I guess a year and a half.
I mean, with pandemic and COVID, all the adjustments that came with that, um, a lot of uncertainty came with it. But as far as how we've been adjusting with the Zoom meetings and all, I really like them.
Oh,
I I like it. I kind of keep to myself more anyway, so it's kind of like a, a chill adjustment transition. And I mean, I thought I was going to be really lonely during the pandemic, and I mean, I had lonely moments, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
right.
I didn't think I would, because I thought, oh no, I was like, this is really nice.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of The Office, and I don't know.
Are
Yeah.
you you're in Nashville?
Yeah, I'm in Nashville.
Okay, yeah. So it's a little nicer. I mean, I for most of the lockdown, I had like 3 feet of snow outside of my front door. So at least you have nice weather.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
I know. It's. I'm a little jealous that you're in a warmer climate at least to ride through this.
Yeah, I that would definitely change the experience. It's
Hmm.
interesting how each person had their own little, each it affected people differently, and I didn't even think about snow because
Yeah.
I went on walks to help me get through it, but
I
that'd be a
did
little
cross country skiing through my driveway, basically. So, yep.
okay.
um, let's talk about the new single. I love it. The second you released it, I added it
Thank
to
you.
my playlist. I've been making everyone listen to it. They all
Thank you.
love it. Beast. Give me the story behind that. I think it's really powerful. Can you talk about it a bit?
Thank you. Yeah, Beast was I wrote it earlier this year actually, with some friends, and it was I just where every time I try to make uh relationships work, it seems like the um anything I can do to protect myself and guard myself comes up, and it gets to the point where I see just everything as like a threat and dangerous, so that I start acting pretty defensively and then offensively. Um, and I'm not really known for that. I'm known for being a more, I don't know, just not that. But when it comes to getting myself into relationships and intimacy, it would really trigger, I don't know, I guess this undealt with trauma that I still am figuring out. And because I'd become like a different person. Have you seen Master of Disguise where he's like, become another person,
Yeah.
become another person? That's what I felt like
Yeah.
was happening to me.
I love it. I think it's great, and I think it's people are going to be able to take a lot from it. I certainly did. It resonated with me quite a bit, so I think it's fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and the video as well. I love the music video of it. Are you writing a lot during? Are you spending a lot of time writing and kind of developing new material?
Um, I don't spend a lot of time, to be honest. Writing's really hard for me. I don't know how to finish my ideas. It's hard for me to get inspired,
Hmm.
and the times that I'm inspired are very few moments. And even when I'm in the writing room with other writers, a lot of times I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm the Debbie Downer because I just feel as if nothing's going to come from this writing session. So
Hmm.
I feel like, why are we wasting our time? Nothing's going to come out of this. But then, like at the end of the day, it's like, oh, we wrote a song. Okay, I guess I was wrong. And it's like the same thing every single time. I always imagine that today is going to be the day that all of us are just going to have brain funks, and we're not going to get anything done. And I tend to be quite pessimistic, I guess. I just always look at the worst thing happening.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm not sure why, but writing is one of those things. And since when I'm by myself, I'm writing, and it's like I'm by myself and I'm thinking, oh, I can't get this done. I don't have anyone to push me through. my negativity. So I usually don't get any songs written.
What I'm just curious for myself. I can't sing to, not even to save my life. It would be whatever is worse than that is the little degree of musical talent that I have. So I have no idea about anything to do with that process. What is that writing process like though? Like, can it, just out of my own curiosity? So when you go into, you have to put out a new album, you're going in to start writing, like is it collaborative? Do you start the process on your own and then kind of take that to other people and they finesse it, or do you write the whole thing yourself? Or I'm just very curious about that now.
Yeah, it's different for each person. Some people like to write just all their songs themselves, and I feel like that's such an amazing skill to have because it's not one I've acquired yet. Um, but who knows? You could never say never, I guess. But for now, the process for me is I usually like to write with at least two other people
Mm,
because if there's one person, I have very difficult trust issues, not in any kind of relationship, including writer relationships. So I will be, if I'm one on one with someone, I'm going to question their ideas. I'm going to question how valid their idea, if they're really going to work out. And so I'm like, I don't know, like I always feel like I need a second opinion.
right.
So if there's a third person in the room, I work really well in trios. So if there's a third person in the room, even if I'm questioning it, there's a second person who's like, actually, that's a great idea. And then I'm like, okay. So I guess as long as it's 2 against 1,
Yeah.
then we'll continue moving forward because I tend to want to drag my feet and be like, I don't know, maybe we should find another idea. I don't know if that's good enough because I'm always questioning and I'm always doubting if something is good enough, especially if it's coming from me. So um, that's just how I have to do it. But then the songs usually come about from uh, ideas
Mm,
or just conversation.
right.
So we'll be talking about like, so what's been on your mind and what's been going on in your life. And even if I come in with an idea, sometimes I will like, I might come in with a melody and like, da, 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 and then we'll just create a song out of it. Other times I'll come with a melody and we'll just completely throw it out the window because we decide, you know what, we after the conversation, there's like this whole mood everyone is now in tune with and connected to.
Mm,
It's like this energy. And so I think we just all start pulling from that same space and then create a song out of that energy we feel from the conversation we had. Um, and so the conversation is usually what ends up being the theme of and the content of the song that is written.
oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. I'm always curious about how the nuances work with things like that. I don't really know what to say, but there's going to be a commercial unless you're streaming this, so we'll see you either in 2 minutes or immediately. So you had to postpone your tour due to world events, but now that's, yeah, now that's coming back up again. Like, are you excited to go on tour? Do you enjoy the traveling and the touring?
I like I dread it until I'm actually there.
Okay.
Like I can't sleep at night. I'm like eating lots of, I don't know, I might be eating lots of ice cream because I can't sleep and I'm like getting so anxious and like ice cream and lots of sugar is going to solve my anxiety problems.
Okay, that sounds
But
exactly like how I handle my anxiety as well.
I can't sleep. I'm stressed. I feel like the world's ending. I feel like everyone around me hates me. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's because I have to pack and I hate packing. And I just get nervous. I don't realize I'm nervous about going on the road, but I am. And then once I'm there, like the first show, I'm like, oh, why was I so worried? Like this is great. Like I love to sing. I love these songs, and it'll be fun to get to share them. I'm going on a Christmas tour this winter, and then I go on my Okay All Right tour in February. But it's like a pattern. It's happened for the last 12, 13 years now. I
Mm.
always dread up until like the day before, and then I'm okay. And then I get through like halfway, and then like halfway into the tour, I usually have another kind of a little a little breakdown. A part of me looks forward to it. A big part of me really dreads it because it's always a really hard transition for me to go from like being in my own little corner. I can be anywhere. Or I don't know the words exactly, but,
Yeah.
but like, I like being in a space where I can just chill.
Right.
And when I'm in front of people, I can't help but think, what are they thinking of me? Like, do I look funny? Are they feeling like they paid too much? Or do they feel like they wasted their money or they're wasting their time coming to my show? And I just can't, like, all these negative thoughts, like this worst case scenario thinking, I'm just like, what if they don't like me? What if they're bored? What if I'm talking too much? What if I didn't pick the right songs? What if my arrangements aren't good enough? Or like, what if I'm disappointing people because they were expecting something else? All those things really wear me out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes me really want to just avoid going on the road. But once I'm there, I can't avoid anything anymore. And then I realize everything that I was worrying about isn't true anyway. And it seems like people are enjoying it and I'm enjoying it. And I have a really good time once I'm up there.
Are there specific cities that you either really look forward to visiting, or on the flip side, are you like, oh God, going back to Edmonton or something?
I think I usually I love Idaho because I grew up in Utah, and I do a lot of shows in Utah because I'm from there. But Idaho is like, it's the neighboring state just north of Utah. But the crowds there, I don't know why, but they always feel like they have so much energy and they're so excited.
Your children's book, My Little Prayer, what would you tell a young David if you could go back in time? Because I think the message in that book is really important, and I think it's great for kids, and I think it's something that kids need to hear and they're not told enough. So if you could go back in time and speak to yourself, what's the one message you'd want to give yourself?
I think I would tell myself, to little David, it doesn't need to be more complicated than what you're already learning. I think I felt like, oh, there's so much more I need to know and understand that. And there's so much I don't know and I need to find because I'm lacking so much. I would tell him, it's like, actually, 25 years, 20 years down the road in your life, or even however far, you're not lacking as much as you think you are. And as you are, is going to be sufficient to accomplish a lot of good things, and for you to be happy, and for you to feel satisfied with how your life is going. So, so I guess that's what I would say. One of the things.
It's lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much for this interview.
Yeah, thank you. That was a very interesting question.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to I'm like, my brain wants to continue. I'm like, this is the hour-long
if you want
that I would have with myself.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it so much. It's been really nice talking with you.
Well, likewise. Thanks for this time.